nation together. Yeah, remember, the key to success is working hard. For our country, we must have regard. Forget all your differences, let we start to build. And onward to progress we surely will. Because now...
Yes, indeed, because now is the time to build, to transform, to make better Grenada, Carriacou, and PT Martinique. I want to welcome you to the hub. Again, we have a unique opportunity in time to talk. And tonight I want us to look at what's happening in St. Vincent, particularly the Grenadines, Union Island, and so on. All right? And we will look at what happened in Carriacou and what they continue to do in Carriacou and PT Martinique. Because you see, those on the NNP side, they want you to believe that nothing is happening in Carriacou and PT Martinique because you're not frequent in Carriacou and PT Martinique. You're not up there. But the people of Carriacou and PT Martinique will tell you that a lot is being done by the minister, the Honorable Tevin Andrews, and the government of Grenada by extension. So a while ago, St. Vincent, the government of St. Vincent, posted a short video detailing some of the progress, some of the things that happened so far in St. Vincent. And now they have the Guyanese Defense Force who arrived on island today to lend some assistance to them. All right? But remember, Carriacou, it's different. We've had the Guyanese Defense Force in Carriacou. They did their work and they went back. A number of them who are in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, but you know, it's the Grenadines that were affected. They came to Carriacou and they are now in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. So they can tell you about both experiences and what they've seen so far. So I want to play that for you. Firstly, we're going to listen to it. We're going to take some notes, and then we're going to look at Carriacou and PT Martinique, what has happened there compared to some of the things that they pointed out in the video in St. Vincent, or let's be more specific, in the Grenadines. So let me play that for you firstly. Listen up.
The Recovery and Rebuilding Initiative on Union Island is continuing, with several people and government entities playing their part in the process. The Agency for Public Information recently visited the southern Grenadine Island, where Dr. Idalia Ferdinand of the National Emergency Management Organization, NEMO, gave an update on the government's housing initiative.
The rebuilding process has picked up pace for 2025. We are presently working on over 40 houses in Clifton, and the team in Ashton have completed about 60-something houses, and they are working on others both in Clifton and Ashton. In addition to that, the HLDC has started the construction from ground up of homes that were completely destroyed, and work is ongoing on government buildings, businesses, and so on in Union Island.
Right. So Union Island was hardest hit. Carriacou, PT Martinique, Union Island. All right. So they're giving an update there. All right. A number of houses under construction. They are working on government buildings and so on and so forth. But the interviewer will ask further questions to the NEMO rep.
Presently, we also have the support of the Guyana Defence Force soldiers. 8 of them have been on island for the last 2 weeks, looking at how they can provide support. And the larger contingent will join today, which is about 32. So in all, the team would be about 40 persons. They are earmarked to provide assistance in terms of electrical, plumbing, installation of windows and doors, in addition to assistance with roof.
How important is Guyana's intervention in the rebuilding process?
It's very important to get the support of our neighbors as part of our Carriacou mechanism.
So Dr. Ferdinand, can you give us an idea of how many homes, government buildings and private businesses have been completed so far?
Work is ongoing on most of the government buildings, the schools, the hospital, the clinic. They are close to complete.
Right. So work is still ongoing on the hospital, all right, government buildings, and the clinic. In Carriacou, and you would hear further down in the video, the Guyana Defence Force officer, some sergeant, something, he was asked to compare both Union Island, Carriacou, because they were in Carriacou 3 or 4 days, I think it's about 4 days after Hurricane Beryl struck. Remember, Carriacou got a direct hit. Carriacou, PT Martinique, Union Island, and so on. But he then said he believes Carriacou was hardest hit and the devastation was massive, was more. But here you have in St. Vincent in Union Island, right? The main island that was devastated. Like Carriacou is the main island. Yes, PT Martinique was affected, but Carriacou was the main one. So you had the hospital in Carriacou that was refurbished, back up and functioning. All the equipment was damaged, and nearly everything was damaged in that hospital, the main hospital. The Honorable Tevin Andrews and his team, the government of Grenada, they did a fantastic job in getting that hospital back up and running, refurbished, fixed, and in nice condition. Union Island is still behind. The clinics, Union Island is still working on the clinics. You have the Hillsborough, Leicester, Windward. I mean, the clinics, they have been refurbished, right? They're still working on 1 or 2. But generally speaking, the majority of them, they have been refurbished and back up and functioning. All the schools, except I think the Dover government school, all the other schools, you know, they were refurbished. Mount Pleasant, Harveyville, we can go on and on. Bishop's College, Hillsborough Secondary, they all have been refurbished and you know, fixed. There is, I think, 1 or 2 schools that they build in from scratch, but generally speaking, all the schools are back up and running and refurbished, fixed, and so on. Right? Government buildings, 99% of them have been fixed. 99% of them. Roof done, painting done, furniture, you know, in other words, they have furniture, computers, everything like that, all those stuff in there. The courthouse, the police station, that was refurbished, fixed, upgraded, and we can go on and on and on. All right? In Union Island, that is not the case.
Completion, but there are minor things like painting, a little bit of electrical here and there, and some plumbing. So windows and doors, in addition to assistance with roof.
How important is Guyana's intervention in the rebuilding process?
It's very important to get the support of our neighbors as part of our Carriacou mechanism.
So Dr. Ferdinand, can you give us an idea of how many homes, government buildings and private businesses have been completed so far?
Work is ongoing on most of the government buildings, the schools, the hospital, the clinic. They are close to completion, but there are minor things like painting, a little bit of electrical here and there, and some plumbing. So the government buildings are close to completion, most of them. Work has been completed on just over 200 houses, and a number of businesses are progressing with the reconstruction. I don't have the
So she spoke about houses there, over 200 houses, right? In Carriacou, you have 27 plus 20, that's 47 plus 60, that's 107 plus 20, 127 and 10. So that's just about 140 houses. There are houses under construction. There are houses completed already. So just about almost close to 150. So in Union Island, they are working on just about 200 or so, and they continue to do work on the additional 40 or so. All right, so they're on track. Both are on par. They're on track where that is concerned. But remember, in Carriacou, over $30 million worth of material assistance was given to residents there who just needed their roof to be fixed. All right? So over $30 million was spent on materials for roofing repair work. And that is significant because there are a lot of people who lost their homes, their complete house, and there are people who lost their roof. And the Honorable Tevin Andrews and his team the government of Grenada spent over $30 million on roofing materials, fixing people's roof. And that is important.
Definite figures for businesses. Some of those persons are doing the work on their own, and some are getting support of materials from the state.
Right. And as the Honorable Tevin Andrews, the Honorable Tevin Andrews is saying here, all right, he's saying out of the 263 hotel and guest house rooms, 148 is operational. So they're making a lot of progress. Because remember, the government placed $25 million in the Grenada Development Bank for small, medium, and large size businesses who were affected by Hurricane Beryl to access loans, to access grant aid too, loan/grant aid, to get back on their feet as quickly as possible. So most of those businesses, they were able to access the loans. And besides that, government forgo millions in not collecting taxes, VAT, property tax, and we can go on and on and on. If you quantify that, you could kind of get an idea as to the millions spent to get Carriacou where it is today. And in terms of the cleanup campaign, if you look at the Hillsborough playing field now, if you look at some of those playing fields where they were stockpiling all the debris and so clean, a lot of work has been done to get Carriacou back to that pristine state.
Other donor agencies.
In the meantime, government continues to pay.
He also, the Honorable Tevin Andrews is saying that, an additional 20 restaurants are back up and running. He's saying that over 20 restaurants in Carriacou and Petit Martinique, they're back up and running. Carriacou and PM is open for business.
The rent and bills for persons affected, placed out of their homes by the impact of the storm.
Yes, there are still quite a number of persons, a couple hundred, who are on the mainland being supported in terms of rent. We are trying our best to see how we could work with those persons to get their homes completed so that they can be back on island. And we are really trying to look at those persons who have students attending the schools, because we are trying to coordinate with the reopening of schools and persons being back in their homes. And
Right. So all the schools, just about 3 months or so after Hurricane Beryl in Carriacou, nearly all the schools, well, not nearly, all the schools were reopened. All right? In Union Island and the Grenadines, they're trying now to reopen the schools, trying to assist the students and so on. But remember, the NDC administration is assisting students at TAMCC and NULO, all right, with laptops, with $2,000 every month, for housing, traveling allowance, and all kinds of stuff to make sure that they're A-OK and that they can study and that they can, really attain what they set themselves out to get into achieving higher education. If you look at the Union Island, you look at the Grenadines, you realize we are way ahead. So you hear Nolan Cox and them talking their rubbish and the NNP talking their nonsense. You just have to just look at your neighbor, because Carriacou was not the only one hit. Petit Matnik was not the only one hit.
the children can move back to the schools on island. And I can say the work on this.
And let me tell you this video was only uploaded today. So they had this ceremony and all these different things today. So this is not no stale video of what's taking place in the Grenadines, the Union Island, and so on. I'm not making this thing up. I just got it on the government site because I saw it earlier when they had the ceremony and so on, and I decided to search for it, and I got it. So I wanted to play it for you. So this is nothing that you're making up. This is the actual officials and people speaking there.
Schools are progressing very well. The school in Clifton, the Stephanie Brown Primary School, is almost completed, and the Guyanese soldiers, they will assist with finalizing that work, and they will work closely with Braxa in getting that done. And the other school, the other primary school, that is close to completion as well.
And the feeding program continues on the island?
Yes, the state continue to support the operation of 2 community kitchens, one in Ashton and the other in Clifton. They provide meals for the shut-ins, for the schools, and for the construction workers on the various different sites across the island. In addition to many other persons, for example, we do have persons who would come down from the mainland to provide support, government workers and other persons, and the kitchen would provide meals for them as well.
Well, I thought the NNP had some kitchen thing going when they wanted to make a political mockery of everything up in Carriacou. Where is all of that? Right? There's no need for that anymore, because the government of Grenada did an exceptional job in getting people back up and running, and businesses and everything back up and running. So there's no need for that anymore. And the NNP only started something a couple of days, and then you didn't hear much about them. All right, it was all for politics and to go up there and play thing, but they were never genuine about it.
Okay, and Ms. Ferdinand, can you remind persons of the registration process if they may have issues?
So for the burial rebuild, we have what is called a burial assistance form. That's mainly for housing assistance, and persons can come to the office, the NEMO office in Union Island in Clifton. The office has now relocated from the Tobago Keys Marine Park, and it's now upstairs of the tourism building, and they can get an application, complete the application. We'll work with them in terms of how the form is to be completed. Once that is done, the assessors will go out to visit the home and look at the estimates that were provided, or we will assist with getting a contractor to look at the estimates. Most of what we are doing now is through contractors, because what we found is that persons were collecting materials and the work was not getting done because they were having problems finding workmen And so we work with the contractors to get the work done so that persons can get that level of support.
My name is Doolin Woodruff, Sergeant Doolin Woodruff. I'm from Guyana. We arrived in St. Vincent on Tuesday the 12th. So,
What is your skill set?
I skill set in carpentry and mason.
Okay, so you already went around and see what you all be working on?
Yeah, we visit a couple sites. So, we'll be working on some houses and on the police station.
Okay. And did you go to Carriacou during after burial? Did you work in Carriacou after burial?
Yeah, we arrived in Carriacou 4 days after burial.
And how would you compare the destruction in Carriacou to the destruction you see on Union Island?
Well, we was just arriving in Carriacou after the hurricane burial, so far the destruction over there was very devastated. So to me it was more than over here.
Okay. And how do you feel about being in St. Vincent?
Well, so far I feel good. Come for assist in the rebuild for the country.
And are your accommodations suitable?
Yeah, the accommodation okay.
And how many persons are in your team?
The entire contingent can be maximum of 40 and 2 officers.
And how long do you plan to remain in St. Vincent?
3 months.
And do you think that you can get a lot of work done in 3 months?
Yes, we could get a lot of work done in 3 months because we have a good team. Yeah.
And what your working hours would be like? What your working hours would be like?
It can be like from 8 to 4, but if we got to go beyond that, no problem.
All right. Seems as though I lost that there. It seems as though that came to an end there. All right. But you got the gist. You got the substance. Because while the NNP is out there saying all kinds of stuff, spreading all kinds of bad information, you have other islands that were affected by the Hurricane Beryl with a similar population, with a similar make. And you just listen to what was taking place in Union Island and the Grenadines generally. What's taking place there? And you look at Carriacou. I mean, look, it is easy to say things, you know. Nolan Cox and the NNP, they're very good at that. Folks, if I miss out anything, the people from Carriacou, all right, or if you live in Grenada, but you visited Carriacou, and you want to call me tonight, you can. All right? The number is 415-4817 or 403-1019. So if I miss out anything, I played that piece there and you heard it yourself. If you live in Carriacou, you live in Petit Martinique, and you want to call in, you want to chime in, you want to say something, you want to add something, you can. You can call me and I will try my best to bring you live. All right? So again, because the NNP, they're goons, they're surrogates, they're zygotes, they're sycophants, I mean, they're out there spreading misinformation. Many of them, they have not even stepped foot in Carriacou and Petit Martinique. And Nolan Cox, who is there, every time you hear him speak, is about his mother's house. He's working on his mother's house and so on, which is great. But the brother the broader community. Let's look at what is happening. You see, sometimes you just have to be objective. Yes, you want to get back into power. Yes, you want to paint the government bad. You want to paint the MP bad. But if he's doing something good or doing things that are good, I think it is important to highlight it, to talk about it. And then people are going to see you as a fair, a just person, a just person, a fair person. All right. So if you live in Carriacou, you live in PT Martinique, and you want to call me, you can. Maybe I left out something. Maybe you want to talk about what you have seen. All right. The roads are better. The the beaches, the work they did there, exceptional. I mean, they did a lot of work to clean up Carriacou, because it's one thing for a hurricane to strike you, but it's another thing to see all the debris and see all those things all about the place. It can have psychological effect on you, and it can keep you back from moving forward. But if you clean it up, then people can start somewhere. And I think that was a good move. That's a lesson that can be replicated or used after hurricanes in anywhere around the world. Trying to clean up the debris, to clean up the place, and then taking it from there, building back better. I think that's something that can be, replicated. But again, if you out there, you're listening to me, maybe you've been to Carriacou, or maybe you live in Carriacou, right? It's an opportunity that you have. You can call me on my number, 415-4817 or 403-1019. So you can call me and I would put you live, all right, if you want to add anything to it.
More than ever we must show discipline, tolerance, and production to build a strong and better nation. I say that is the main foundation. So come let us work hand in hand, because this is our land. Come my brother, come my sister, and let us build a nation together. So much of things that we need to see about. Surely I do have to spell them out. Cause you know as well as I do, the only way is put in more effort and less play. Because now, more than ever, we must show discipline, tolerance, and production to build a strong and better nation. I say that is the main foundation. So come let us go hand in hand, because this is our land. Come my brother, come my sister, and let us build a nation together.
Right. So it seems as though there is a problem with the radio. All right. It seems as though there is a rebroadcast of yesterday's town hall still going on the radio. Normally, we would be connected by 8. So I don't know what may have happened there in terms of connecting. So I was trying to call Kim to find out, because it seems as though there is a rebroadcast playing on the radio throughout. So while we are online on Facebook and YouTube, the radio, they're hearing something totally different in Grenada, Carriacou, and PT Martinique. All right, they're listening to the rebroadcast. So it's a rebroadcast that's actually taking place. That is what I realize. But just saying again, it is important to right. So I was trying to get Kim because it seems as though there is a mix up there. I was listening online that Nazim Book is speaking at the town hall meeting, and he did a fantastic job last night. All right. So it's a pity that the folks didn't get the program from the start. All right. It's a pity, especially the people in PT Martinique and Carriacou. I don't know what is happening with the rebroadcast aspect of things tonight. All right. But normally we would be on at 8, it would connect to us at 8. So I don't know what is the mix up there. But by and large, someone was saying to me, a lot of solar lights is in Carriacou. Hey, Kim, how you doing? Yeah, it seems as though there is a rebroadcast going on with the town hall meeting. No, man, I on since. All right, let me just. Yeah. Let me just.
This also goes for every Trinbagonian who going to live in a foreign land. Now is the time to come home and do something instead of staying out there and freezing. Because now,
right. So Kim the King called there because he said the internet, something with the connection. I was unaware of that. All right. But I was just saying to him that I'd been on almost 40 minutes ago. All right. 38 minutes ago in terms of streaming. So I don't know, with technology and the weather and so on, those things do happen. But nevertheless, at the end of the day, just saying that, people are saying to me that the place is lit, a lot of solar lights in quite a number of places, throughout Carriacou. I don't know about PT Martinique if they have a number of solar lights there, but for Carriacou, they've been doing a fantastic job with the solar lights. So a lot of work is being done in Carriacou and PT Martinique. We saw, this morning I spoke about it, Nolan Cox highlighting the jetty from Windward, all right? That jetty that the folks on PT Martinique utilize when they come to Carriacou. And then the Honorable Tevin Andrews, he posted and made it very clear that there are people who could talk, but there are folks who can actually do the work. And a contract was signed for the construction of that jetty. And very soon they would commence work on the jetty, a modern jetty for the people there. And I saw today Che McDonald put up a post looking at some other things. All right, some other things, what it used to be compared to what it is now, which is great, the before and after photo. And thumbs up to Chi there. All right, Chi McDonald. So Chi saying, he said, let's look at the Windward Health Center, what it used to be compared to what it is now. All right. So I saw it here a little earlier. And that is important. Very important. Because the NNP, they're out there talking. They're very good at talking. All right. So that is what the jetty used to be. All right. It's a wooden thing. It was not in too much a good shape. Nolan Cox showed this because after Hurricane Beryl, it was destroyed. It's a wooden thing. And the Honorable Tevin Andrews showed this, what it will be like in the next couple of months when they start the work. Contract already signed for it, for that jetty to be constructed. So that is really good. It's really great. All right. So they will commence work on that jetty very soon. And that is the whole idea. Idea is to make sure that you do something better. Not just do something, but do something better. And I was saying to you that Che McDonald, he said this is what the Windward Medical Station looked like before, right? Under the NNP. It was run down, more or less. This is what it looks like under the NDC. All right, and it's near, I think it's near completion, or they have completed that work. There is just a handover. But minor little things to be done there. So a lot of work was done on that particular facility. And that's just a ordinary person highlighting the work that the government is doing. All right. And then you have, I think he posted what the Windward Fish Market used to be like. All right. What it used to be like compared to what it is now. Compared to what it is now. And that is the before and after footage of photos. That's good, because what it does is expose the lies. Expose the lies. That is what it does. Because the NNP, they're out there with all their lies, all their misinformation. When you post stuff up, you expose the lies, and people get to see the truth with facts, with evidence. All right. So he posted something regarding what the fish market looks like now compared to what it was before. So this was the fish market before in Windward Island. In Windward now, not Windward Island, Windward. Windward. And this is what it is now. All right? This is what it is now. So that is the idea. When they lie, you put the facts out there and you expose them. Because the NNP, they don't want good for Carriacou and PT Martinique. They just want power. That's all they want. All right? They just want power. All right. So the Honorable Tevin Andrews is saying the project is completed and we will have an opening very soon. So that clinic or medical station, that has been completed. So that's good. Thank you there, the Honorable Tevin Andrews. All right. All right. You see real boots on the ground. That's the vibes. All right. Good. So, as I said, there are people who can talk. The Cox guy, man, he's good at talking. You heard that from that video in Union Island, the Grenadines, they are way behind in terms of recovery, in terms of billing back when compared to Carriacou and PT Martinique. And everything cannot be done one lick, as the old people would say, one lash. Instantly. Things do take time, and especially if you want to do it right, if you want to build it back better than before, you can't rush. Because when you rush, you're going to make mistakes. And remember, there will be another hurricane season. There will be another one. So what the Honorable Tevin Andrews is doing, what the government of Grenada is doing, they're doing the right thing. All right? They're doing the right thing. So a lot of work is being done in Carriacou. And what I love is the fact that the people of Carriacou, when I went up to Carriacou, they're happy, they're pleased. And even if they did not receive a Build Back Better house or a prefab house or their roof done as yet, they're still happy for their neighbors and their friends who got theirs, who got their roof repaired, who got materials to repair their roof. That is the spirit. That is the kind of Carriacou and PT Martinique that I know. So again, look, the NNP will not stop telling tales, lying, trying to deceive. They will not stop. They will continue because they believe over the many years what they were able to do, go on radio, go on national TV and lie, condemn, criticize, bad talk the government. But the NDC then had other issues, not this NDC, the one between 2008 2013. So people gravitated towards the message of the NNP quite quickly because of what was happening. And a lot of people got upset with the fact that they removed the NNP and they really wanted change. And then look what took place during that period. But this time around, you have an NDC who is working, an NDC with one leader, an NDC with a youthful team of men and women who getting the job done, right? And we love our leader. He's doing a fantastic job. His stance, his position, regionally, internationally, is the envy of a lot, of many. He's working, and this government is working. They're managing the economy well. We have seen record growth in so many sectors, right? So things are happening. The workers are happier than before. So it's a different NDC. And the NNP is still locked in thinking that they're dealing with the NDC of old. The NDC with Peter David, Nazim Burke, Carl Hood, Joseph Gilbert, Michael Church, Glennis Roberts, Ali Gill. Who again? What am I missing? Stanford Simon. Who? I mean those who were there. Uncle Tilly was there too, and they really did not treat Uncle Tilly good. Those guys, all right, never treated him good. A very nice, decent person. They never did. Who again? It's a list of them, and they were fighting among themselves. A whole pile of nonsense. And then the NNP came back into power because of that. And not only that, those who were on the radio and so on, pushing programs and, for the opposition at the time, they were able to get traction because of that. But now you are dealing with a united NDC. You're dealing with an NDC with one leader. And the ministers and the people who are part of the NDC, they are focused. They are getting the job done. They are delivering. And that is important. And that is why the NNP is not able to get anywhere, to reach anywhere, to make it, to penetrate the market with their lies and misinformation, with their many programs. They have a lot of programs. In fact, someone was saying to me who came from the United States that they have a lot of programs. NNP. And if not NNP, but opposition programs, programs against government, a lot of talk show programs, a lot of podcasts, plenty. All right? But they are still not able to get the message across. People are still not convinced. People are still not converting to them or following them. It's a different thing now. And they don't understand that. They're still locked thinking that it's the same old NDC. You're dealing with an NDC that is at work, getting the job done and managing the economy well. It's not just paying debts, but managing the economy well. Today I learned that you have to, for days in some cases, and you have to have your name on a list. So if you need gravel and concrete and those companies like that to come and pour concrete for you, so you want to buy concrete from them to do your projects, you have to wait in a line. A lot of those companies, they book. It's hard to get blocks, right? Sometimes cement, steel, And we can go on and on. Don't even talk about concrete itself. Like the concrete truck come in and pour concrete for you. Even if you have your money and you paying, you still have to wait in long lines, meaning for days and in some cases weeks, because of the amount of construction that's taking place in the country and the amount of jobs that are being created as a result. Our young men and women are at work. And it's not just the mason or the carpenter or the laborer, but the plumber gets work, the electrician gets work, the person who does roofing gets work, the interior designer gets work, the truckman or truckmen, they get work too, because they have to transport the stuff to the site. So a lot of work is being done. Plenty work. It says a lot when those main companies could tell you that it's just too much. While they're happy for it, but it's a lot. So things are happening. The economy is being managed well, and people have more confidence in this government. Because see, confidence is a very important thing, In business, there are Grenadian brothers and sisters who said they would never come back to Grenada to build or to do anything, And right now, they are back. Under the NNP, they never dreamt of that. They wiped their feet from this place. But now they have confidence in this administration to pull it through. And they are back building homes, building or fixing old homes, creating jobs and opportunities. Things are happening in this place. So you're dealing with a NDC who not just saving money up to pay debts. If you check it out, they are spending the money on the people. Look at the farmers. They receive 23 point something million dollars, payout, Yeah. Look at the pensioners. They receive 70 something million dollars payout. Look at public officers. They received 13% increase in their salary over a 3-year period, of course. 3, I think 4, 4, and 5. Yeah, I think so. And all the fringe benefits that come with it. Look at the police officers, the pay and grade, getting more money on their salaries. Look at ordinary workers with the minimum wage, getting more money when the month ends or when the fortnight comes. Look at the bi-monthly salary payment, how it's working for our ordinary people. And the economy is getting a jolt from that, keeping the economy liquid. So they're managing the economy well. Things are happening for our people. Look at the amount of houses that they are building for our people. Look at the amount of houses they are repairing for our people. Look at the amount of bathrooms and toilets they are doing and building and constructing for our people. Look at the amount of roads, concrete roads and slipper drains and box drains and so on that they are building. Look at the amount of schools that they are building. Look at the amount of community centers they have refurbished. Look at the amount of playing fields they have refurbished and upgraded and lit. Look at the amount of basketball courts and netball courts. Just look around. The work on the fort is ongoing. The Moline project is ongoing. I mean, they did the major part, but they still have some work to do there. But vehicles can pass. The Monkuma Road, they completed that. And then they have some major work to do from, I think, Greenbridge all the way down to the airport. So a lot of work is in the pipeline. Then they're going to start the new hospital project, the land already secured, right? Then you have the Intercontinental Hotel up in St. David that is under construction and continuing, Six Senses, and, things are happening. Then they soon to start the Kiwana Bay Resort. I think they may change the name or whatever, but they soon to start that project there. So things are happening for people. Things are happening for people. So while the NNP is out there trying to give the impression that nothing is happening, you just go around the country and you would see. The tissue culture lab was open today, a brand new tissue culture lab, open today, with the help, I think, of the Chinese and so on. More plants availability for farmers. Farm labor program continues, right? And we can go on and on and on. Things are happening for farmers, for fisher folks, for our public officers. Look, the new pension scheme or pension plan for unestablished workers. There are a lot of them who are being regularized too. So a lot of things are happening for people, right? The NNP never thought that the NDC would come in and govern this way, putting people first, caring for people, and making sure that things happen. The school feeding program that continues, feeding 13,000 students every day. The free tuition program, you have hundreds of students at TAM-CC. Well, thousands at TAM-CC, about 2,000 something. Then you had NULO, 1,000 something or so. Free tuition. Support for the students of Carriacou and PT Martinique who go into TAM-CC and NULO. So a lot is happening for our people. And we have to give thanks. Because it's not easy. Don't believe it's easy. It's because they're able to manage the economy well. That is important. They're able to manage the economy well. You speak to small, medium-sized, and large business owners, and they will tell you they're happy. They're making money. People are spending powers. It is happening for people. That is what you want in an economy. And then you're not hearing about any con man, any crook who come in Grenada and con the government of millions of dollars and run away with it. All right, look at Project 500. Look at the amount of houses they're constructing in Dunfermline. It's just remarkable. And I say to people, during the NNP time, we saw a lot of crooks and con men come into Grenada, and they con the NNP administration of millions and millions of dollars. A lot of money. You hear me? When some of the local con men realize that those blue-eye white boys conning the NNP administration, they then begin to con the NNP administration. A company involving Keith Mitchell's cousin, I understand he passed away, I understand he died. Well, I don't know, the situation there. The slogan would be, may his soul rest in peace. But boy, when the government and people of Grenada, under his watch, lost $23 million or so in this call center business, this failed call center, the cousin of Keith Mitchell, right? He was involved in a call center business. And that call center business had financial problems. But it was a private business. They had to go to the bank and see if the bank could bail them out. But instead, they went to the government of Grenada because Keith Mitchell, his administration, of course, was in power. But his cousin was involved in this call center business. And the government of Grenada, the NNP administration, gave this call center business involving the cousin, Keith Mitchell's cousin, $9 million as a guarantee and $9 million as a loan. Tutus, the company went bankrupt. So we lost $18 million just like that. And then the proceeds from cable and wireless, the shares that we had there, when that was sold, they took $4-point-something million because the company was owing cable and wireless at the time $4-point-something million. So $20-something million, just like that, gone just so. That's the local con men and fraudsters who just decided, well, if the white boys and blue-eye boys could come and con the NNP administration, they could do it too. We could look at garden groups. We could look at the chicken farm. Local people are involved in those things. They say, well, boy, if the white man and the blue-eye man could do it. They could do it too. So under the NNP administration, a lot of convestors, a lot of crooks came here and take a lot of money from us. Only recently where we know about the shrimp farm, we didn't even get a crayfish from that. Under the NNP, $54.2 million. Just like that. Those guys, they just con the NNP administration and go on a spending spree and enjoy life with $54.2 million, you know. Folks, you sat and just think about it for a moment. This is no liquor money, you know. Those white, blue-eye guys came here and they conned the NNP administration of a lot of money, you know. $54.2 million in the shrimp farm fiasco. This when those convestors came and conned the NNP administration. That's a lot of cash. Yeah. And then you had Ekram J. Miller. He conned the NNP administration of $20-something million and went with his children on yachts and so on and drink expensive wine and had them all them young women and them white young women on the yacht and so on and enjoying taxpayers' money. $20-something million, you know, under the NNP administration. They welcomed the NNP administration, you know. Then up in Livera, they had another set of con men up in Livera some years ago who came and they con the NNP administration of $20-something million again. Taxpayers' money, you know. Just gone, just vanished. But under the NDC, you're not seeing that. Those con men and crooks, they ain't approaching the NDC administration at all because they can't con them. A lot of due diligence is being done. A lot of background checks. The government is not doing business with crooks and con men. Under the NNP administration, it was all about crooks and con men coming in. You know, some of those locals were getting rich out of that. Who supported them? A lot of crooks came here, you know. A lot of crooks came here in the 90s, late 90s, early 2000s under the NNP administration. It's not no joke. So we have to be thankful and grateful for the NDC administration. You know, they saved the day, you know. They saved this country a lot. But folks, I want to thank you very much for being a part of the program. Remember, tomorrow, God's willing, at 4:30 in the PM, the police headquarters will be officially opened or handed over, right, to the police. And that would be a very interesting one because remember, historically, people will say, well, boy, the police support NNP way. Not now. Not with all that the NDC did for the NNP administration, for the police officers, for the police officers, you know, in so many areas. The NDC administration, the government of the day, they did a lot of work for the police. And they must be grateful and thankful for that. So they'll be officially opening that headquarters tomorrow, or handing it over. Well, opening officially. Folks, I want to wish you all the best. Take good care. Have a wonderful night. I will be back with you tomorrow morning, God's willing, starting from 8 in the AM again to continue that journey.